Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are going to talk about Canada, and this is a very good news coming out this mid of July 2021. Despite the pandemic, because of the COVID-19, usually we see a lot of more restrictions, a lot of more difficulties when you want to relocate or to move to another country. So Canada has released, despite the pandemic, the COVID-19 has increased special types of jobs, special types of occupations in Canada. So despite of the COVID, these are the 9 in-demand jobs in Canada right now. I'm going to give these particular types of jobs or these type of occupations, and we'll be going to discuss about different paths, and especially the skilled labor part or the path which people are using in order to go to Canada. This is the Center of Opportunities. Welcome everyone to the EBM Scholars. First and foremost, if today is your first time to come across to my YouTube channel, consider subscribing to youtube.com/EBM Scholars. For those who want the videos in Swahili language, go to the youtube.com/EBM Swahili. So, as I've been saying, that the COVID-19 usual is making difficulties people to find jobs. But there are sometimes the good part of it. When you are given the lemon, try to make lemonade out of it. So, despite of the COVID, there are special types of occupations have increased the demands in Canada. These 9 occupations, which I'm going to discuss in the few minutes to come, have more job openings, especially in Ontario, Canada. For those who do not know, Ontario is one of the provinces in East Central Canada, and it borders in the United States and the Great Lakes. So around it, you'll be able to find the states like Minnesota, we'll be able to find Wisconsin, Michigan on the one side, and also it will be also nearby New York and New Hampshire. So, as I've been mentioning, that the COVID has increased the demand for these particular jobs or these occupations in Canada. There are 9 occupations we are going to see. Despite the pandemic, these have got a bigger area after a very big study. Usually the very good thing about the Canadian government always has to find a way properly the demands of the jobs to share so that people can apply directly to be going to Canada. You might be having your question, why these jobs, they say the high demands, and are they going to take someone who is not in Canada right now? The answer is yes. In case you do not know, if it's your first time to come across what is called Canada, Canada is one among the countries in the world with a lot of pathways for people to go to Canada and become permanent residents of Canada. The pathways to permanent residence are usually allocated to what we call merit-based immigration, which is something different from American immigration system, which is more family-based, but in Canada is more merit-based immigration. For that particular case, there is something very, very popular called the express entry. If you are eligible for that, there are also some sort of other federal high-skilled laborers or programs like Canadian Express Class, Federal Skilled Worker Program, and the Federal Skilled Trades Program. We'll be able to talk all those kind of things. So the federal government in Canada, we say the federal government because there are provinces. Like in the US, we have states. In Canada, they have provinces. So the federal government in Canada did a very good research recently, and this mid of July, they know for sure that the pandemic has affected the labor force in each province and territory in Canada. So in Ontario in particular, the researchers analyzed the occupations which have seen the big changes compared to the pre-COVID days. So this brought about these particular demands. That's why I'm going to talk about this one. First of all, will be more in the province of Ontario. So, okay, so the occupations, as I've said, we are going to see the high demand of these particular occupations during the pandemic time. So these ones are going to be listed according to their National Occupational Classification, the NOC code. For those who do not know, this is the classification, or just like the code, you will be able to determine which jobs are in high demand, so that when you are going to apply for the express entry or for other pathways, you'll be able to know whether you qualify or not. So the number one of these particular jobs, which are listed based on the order of the National Occupational Classification NOC code, so they offer the trend analysis, where the job seekers will be able to view these trends in their own occupations of interest and see if they qualify and be able to apply. The number one is advertising, marketing, and public relations managers. The NOC code, which is the National Occupational Classification code, is 0124. So although the spending on the traditional advertising has dropped, usually we know for sure there is no more traditional advertising has dropped because of the pandemic, which has affected a lot of employment for many people, or the industry in general. But there is big increase now with the digital marketing. So that's why they go to this particular situation. We see a lot of universities, they're going online. We see business are going digital. We see most of the companies, they work from home. So there is preliminary budget suggests companies plan to increase spending on advertising, especially on the digital ads. Therefore, there is that increase of the spending on the digital life or digital opportunities is going to increase job opportunities for those with the knowledge of the modern technology methods in advertising, marketing, and public relations managers. Many companies, so that will be number one. Let's go from there. Then number two, oh, sorry, I went too fast. Number two is computer and information systems managers with the NOC code 0213. We all know that no matter what, the healthy sector related to the medical, those are the sectors, or sectors related to the computers, IT related, those also have a very high demand. So computer and information systems managers are companies that previously were limited, and they are focusing more into the normal setting of normal work. Nowadays, the employees are working from home. So what does that mean if you work from home? That means you need a lot of people to be able to give the support from online. So work from home has become the more reliant on computers and information systems managers, because many companies intend to implement telework for the long term. I can give the example with my company. We have been working from home since March 14th, 2020, up to today, July. We are still working from home, and we'll continue to work from home until December probably, or even in the long term, we'll be going once per month in the office or twice per month in the office, and we'll continue working from home. So because many companies are going to implement or intend to implement the telework from home in the long term, but also the new companies, they start directly working as digital. For instance, if today you are going to open maybe the staffing agents, why should you open the physical office while you can do working from home and do everything from home? So also the visual or online services such as e-commerce, medical appointments, job fairs, interviews, all the things related to the IT work requiring people with a computer and information systems skills to be able to do that. So for that particular case, all these developments are expected to drive the big demand for the tech professionals, as long as these firms are going to change or adapting to the new methodologies. The third one is biologists and related scientists. As I mentioned, when you talk about the healthcare or health services, also is another industry where there is demand. Whether there is pandemic, there is no pandemic, the demand will be there. So these workers is going to include a lot of people. They are going to include people dealing with the immunologists, because remember we're talking about immune system, we are talking about virus. So virologists, immunologists, bioinformation workers, or pharmacologists, all those people related to things related to the research of anything related to the virus and the COVID-19 in general. Those are people who are highly needed. The research and development of more vaccine and treatments will continue to support job opportunities for workers in these occupations. So whether the vaccine is coming out, we get the vaccine, but there are so many variants are coming out. So these people are still highly needed. Also, now, after experiencing such thing in the first hand, people will be finding different ways to stop even the future pandemics or future viruses will be able to come. So these particular areas will continue to invest more in research and make sure that we don't incur or face any type of pandemic in the future. Even if we face, it will be something we can be able to overcome very, very quick. Another one is information systems analysts and consultants, no code 2171. Just like you have seen in IT occupations, the information system analysts and the consultants have been very, very crucial to help most of the companies in the transitioning from the actual work from the office to the remote work, or to telework, where all the companies are now focusing. So these are considered as the very essential and the very important workers in Ontario, especially during the time of the lockdown. There are a number of other factors which are suggesting that there will be a very long-term or the long-term demand of this particular field. As I've been saying, that pandemic is completely going to change the future of the companies. Most of the companies will be now focusing more about telework, working from home. You open the new company, it is easier to work from home than having the actual physical offices. So for that particular case, companies are expanding products and services online. Therefore, the digital processes are growing. And in that particular case, there will be also the high risk of cybersecurity. With that particular risk, you have to have the information systems analyst and the consultant to prevent you from any major phishing or anything, cybersecurity breaches, all the thing to avoid those kind of things. So therefore, the artificial intelligence analysts might be some of the job openings due to the increased interest in all those kind of the artificial intelligence solutions for various lines of business. Then there is database analysts and data administrators, NOC 2172. This one, we have been able to see that throughout the time of the pandemic, what have we been able to experience? That the government and organizations have been able to prioritizing the tracking of the COVID-19, the data analysis. So for that particular case, we have the database, so we needed to have the people who be administrators and analysts of this particular data. These workers have been involved in so much with regard to the COVID data analysis process. For that particular case, more opportunities, more jobs will continue to be there. But also they will be able to find the way of this particular data to be able to predict or to be able to use in other future pandemic if something happens. So therefore, concerns are very, very high regarding to the data collection, storage, management, following to the more the visual health, online health, people to go to attend the medical doctors through online, social services. So the shift to the online completely with this particular data is going to be that way, because any company, in order to get a customer now, it will be about how are you going to store my data? Are you going to sell them in the third party? Are they going to, how secure they are? So we need to have people with data administrators and the database analysts to be able to see that. So there will be increasing jobs in these type of occupations if someone is looking or has background in education and work experience in these particular jobs. Another one is number 6 is computer programmers and interactive media developers, the NOC 2174. You see, most of these jobs are also computer, IT related, systems, and a little bit about advertising we have seen something about medical related. So the computer programmers, what can I say about this one? We have seen from day one of the pandemic, there have been the very big demand on how to design anything COVID-related digital support, whether it's media or supporting dissemination of the information or anything related to digital world. So some people have already been able to have a setup for work from home, but due to their work, but majority of people have to transition to work from home. So the increase of the digital products nowadays, most of the things is either you have to purchase, they can be able to do shopping. You can shop and they bring it to home. You can do interview from home. You can work from home. Everything is kind of that. Now we see education, universities, a lot of learning institutions, they do the digital world. So the increasing demand of the digital products and the services will support opportunities for these workers, especially on the global e-learning market grows. You see, they have been predicting like many people will be going back to school, but because they cannot study from home, the cost of education is going down. Instead of going to the physical university, I will study from home. I can go to my hometown university and study from home. Or I can just go and get a certain particular course, one course I really need about editing or certain particular kind of thing as a new skill. So those are the things we see right now. So when it comes to the Ontario in particular, the provincial government is working with the various companies on the organization to create digital resources for online learning at the moment. Such initiatives will be able to support and increase the demand, because this is supported by the provincial government of Ontario. So it makes it a sense, even if it's just Ontario, but also as Canada in general. Overall, even in the US, these are the things which are going to be part of it. You see, another one, number 7, is web designers and developers. Each person nowadays wants to have a website. Each company needs to have a website, not just to have a website, to have even app, even to have something which you can be able to digitize in general. So web designers and developers are the biggest integral part of the building anything related to the COVID-19, related to the websites, to disseminate information, or also to provide the services, to sell the products or anything. So due to the nature of the work, developers are having this particular way to create different ways. We have seen, even like I'm giving example to the Teams or Zoom, they are now not just that every single day they are going to Microsoft Teams. You see they're developing Zoom. They're developing extra products every single day. We see StreamYard. We see Ecom Live, whatever. There are so many products have been able to develop because of this online situation. The trend of towards the online shopping is going also to support the job opportunities for the workers in this particular field. The online services, like medical appointments, nowadays you can have a medical appointment with your doctor from home. You don't need to go unless otherwise they have to come and test something. But most of the physical, you can have the therapist, you can have certain a lot of appointments direct with the doctor from online, and that will be another way. Number 8, medical laboratory technologist. So NOC 3211. So obviously, because of the pandemic, nowadays, if someone is a little bit sick, you have to go to check yourself in the lab. What will be your situation? Are you sick or not? But not only because there are so many samples that are taken, so there will be a very high demand of the storage areas to make sure that everything is going to be stored in a proper way. So because of the shortage of the lab technicians before the COVID, so during and even right now, there are so many people, especially people who are retired or older people. Nowadays, especially for the older people, they quit the job, some of them because they cannot work in this particular situation. So they create this. And so the outbreak of the COVID has made the more demands of the people because you need to have more lab, you need to have more technicians so that they can be able to take this one and be able to properly store these kind of samples. So for that particular case, the employees in this particular field are highly regarded. So in the province of Ontario, is funding new program to train lab workers to reduce the workload for certified medical laboratory technicians, technologists, and their assistants. As the population ages and the pandemic continues, as we see, is not going to slow down, the number of job vacancies in this particular occupation or in this field will continue to grow as long as there are not enough new graduates in this particular field. And the last one is the graphic designers and illustrators. So we have seen this also related to the computer, related to the IT related and all these kind of things. And it is in a very simple way, the more digital products and the services which are more online, we see the graphic designers and the illustrators are highly needed. Very, very needed, particularly in the creating of the content and the graphic, like in e-commerce platforms, online banking, electronic learning, e-learning. All those are the things which are highly required. So as I mentioned at the beginning, for those who do not know, so we are talking about it specifically in Ontario, but it can also be applicable to overall most of these in Canada in general. So there is a very big demand of this particular labor, but as I've been saying, like people can be asking, is this shortage short-term or long-term? So the purpose of Canada, it has been in a long time having what we call the merit-based immigration or the point system. That means it's a pathway to bring skilled labor. So Canada is demanding a lot of people with high skill. That's why they have that one. Remember, Canada, the population of Canada is smaller than the population of California. Just see how population is not that big. And remember, there are older people, there are children. So people in the labor force is not that big number. So for that particular case, there will be a long-term needed of the people who are skilled labor to support Canadian long-term economic growth. So that is something you need to know that. So when we talk about the pathway to become a permanent resident of Canada, we usually talk about the popular express entry. As long as you are eligible for certain federal high-skilled labor or skilled labor force, you are going to be able to be given permanent resident. So the most common, the three programs is Canadian Express Class, the Federal Skilled Worker Program, and also the Federal Skilled Trade Program. So I can put the links, but you can go and Google those kind of particular paths. You can be able to see them and be able to go through those kind of things. So because this one is not to go in detail about each of these particular program if you wanted to know them. So these are the federal programs which are there for everybody. But Ontario is Ontario, not just Ontario, but each province in Canada has a special provisional nominee program, PNP. So Ontario also has their own. This particular program is going to support people to get permanent residence through that way. So you can apply overall the express entry, but also at the same time, that express entry is going to give you also to be eligible also for each province you want to go. You can go and apply, and the province can be able to sponsor you or accept you. So having the express entry profile is going to open the Ontario enhanced provincial nominee program. They have also what they call the human capital priority stream, HC PS. Also, that also offers the pathway for people who are working in the tech workers and workers in the high demand jobs. But also, there are also some other more things about the also outside the express entry. Ontario also has what they call the expression of the interest system that also offers the points for eligible candidates who are working in a skilled occupation in that particular province. So that one also there is a number of limitations about that. So you can go and read about those provincial program in particular. But also, they have also overall the essential workers pathway for those who are worked in a country limited to pandemic lab techs, for instance. I've talked about that one. So you can apply anytime before the November 5th, or if it's not November 5th, it will be until when they reach the mark of 20,000 is a mark. For those, as I said, like their first time to come across to my YouTube channel, I have two YouTube channels. Number one is called the youtube.com/EBM Scholars. Please go and subscribe to that one. You'll be able to find a lot of information about scholarships, about scholarship will be Canada, US, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. You'll be able to find different paths or ways to come to US, Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. You'll be able to find different ways on how to conduct the life in these countries. How can you be able to adjust or transition from one type of immigration status to another one? And then there is also, if you want to find jobs around the world, also if you are looking for ways on how you can be able to write your books and sell your books online through Amazon, self-publishing, I can be able to guide those people. And also I have a Swahili YouTube channel if you want to do that. If you want to check me on Twitter, I'm using Ernest_Makulilo on my Twitter account. But also for those who are going to find me on my Instagram, I have two Instagram accounts. One is at EBM Signature and another one is EBM Scholars. You'll be able to find me there. For those who are looking for scholarships, should also go to ebmscholarships.com, to that particular website. They can be able to get a lot of information about scholarship opportunities. So that is all about good news about the 9 programs which are in high demand in Canada, which have been announced very recently in the middle of July. So please let me know. I have video about if for those who are looking for scholarships to go to study in Canada or to transition or to adjust their status while they're in Canada. There are so many information about that. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your continued support, and may God bless you. This again is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, EBM, talking to you from my home office here in Belton, Missouri, United States of America. Goodbye. Stay tuned for more content to come.